We had a fantastic trip to Willow Springs International Raceway. It was really awesome. And first of all, I really want to thank my brother for taking his Denali for the trip. He provided the Denali for us not only to ride in, but to tow my friend's Terminator Cobra to the racetrack with. And that was a very big help for all of us. We were planning on driving that Terminator to the racetrack. We already got the race wheels on it with the stickier tires, and it was going to be something we were just going to have to do. But my brother offered to go ahead and offer his help with the Denali and get us there, and he's going to make some really awesome videos about towing and everything, so that's going to be a win-win for everybody. So we showed up at this gas station to meet up with our friend, because even though he had rented a trailer, the U-Haul dealer in town called him back and said, "I'm sorry, we don't have one." So we're going to have to pick it up on the way. It was only about 30 minutes away, 45 minutes away in the next little town called Mesquite, Nevada. And we were going to have to pick the trailer up there and put the car on it. So that's okay, as long as we didn't have to drive the car the whole way. So if you recall from my other videos, this is going through the Gorge, one of the coolest places to drive on Interstate 15. It's on the way to Mesquite, and it's somewhere that I've had to go through to get to Las Vegas every time that I go down there to race and everything. So really fun place to go, really cool traveling. So this is looking underneath the car at his air ducting system. We drove it down there, and I checked underneath to make sure that we weren't leaking anything, just making sure the car is ready for the racetrack. And we've already gone over this car. My friend, his name is Kurt, he already went over this car with everything, and it was all fine, everything's checked, and you know, but I was just looking at it anyway. So he handed over the keys while they went over and got the trailer, and I was able to sit there and enjoy looking at the Cobra. It was a really nice, safe little area, but I'm always protective of my cars anyway. And so I was sitting there looking at the Cobra and this really cool keychain he had. He had showed it to me that's an actual original Cobra keychain from the 60s, and it has this leather band on the back that says Made in England. So I thought that was pretty cool, and it was fun to just be enjoying a nice morning with a Cobra, a nice ride down there so far, and we're about to load it up on the trailer. So here I am just hanging out in the parking lot enjoying this really cool moment, and it was so nice outside. It was like 70 degrees at this time, and the car looked beautiful. We had it all ready to go, got it all cleaned up, it was ready to go racing. This little town, Mesquite, was really fun just to be there for a little bit. My brother and I have spent a lot of time down here just cruising around. They have a really cool car show coming up here, and a lot of people from Vegas and Utah, Colorado, all over come. So here comes my brother with the trailer, and they got it all ready and checked out and everything. And so now we're just going to load it up onto the trailer. So you'll see videos that my brother has on how to load it and everything, and that's all cool. So here's the car loaded up. We got the straps around the wheels. My brother was back there getting some tie-down straps on the IRS on the back of the car. You could use the chains that are back there, but that's the way we did it. We even saw V6 Mustang, zinc yellow. It was following us for a little bit. And now we were headed to get back on the interstate. And again, I really want to thank my brother for all his help and his hospitality and everything for using his Denali on this trip, because it's a really nice vehicle. He takes really good care of it, and it's really nice of him to tow with us all there. So beautiful scenery as usual. If you've seen my other videos, you've seen a lot of this. This is the same place I took my red Terminator to go get the dyno done, and you know, have footage of this highway, this Interstate 15, and just really fun to go out here and see a nice desert drive, and of course the Denali doing a great job pulling in the heat. So I had a great time. Of course, for me, just being a passenger, this trip was real chill for me. I'm always the one taking the car to the dyno or going to the racetrack or whatever I'm doing. It's always stressful. But this time for me, it was just a vacation. And I just wanted to be part of the pit crew and have fun and go to Willow Springs for the first time. So this was just really cool. I brought all these treats with me just to make sure that I enjoyed the trip. Joshua trees. Joshua trees. It's so cool to go to where Ford vs. Ferrari was made. This is the track where they raced in the beginning of the movie. Really awesome.
Question. Right. When you were a little boy, did you think, when I grow up, I want to go to the fabled Willow Springs Raceway and I want to enforce paragraph 15.4 section 2B of the SEC regulations on luggage capacity? All right.
It's just so cool to see all these places. You see where they're standing. This is exactly where we're going to be today. You can just see all the cars racing down the track, and you start to recognize these places once you've been here. You're like, oh, I'm so familiar. I know exactly where that was and where this scene took place. So just really cool, an iconic place with Shelby, iconic place with racing in California. And so now as I watch all these scenes and I see these places, it's just really cool to know that this is where the history went through, especially for the movie. You know, this is where the movie was made, and a really cool track to go to. So fun to be able to go on this track and race on this track, and you'll see that in these upcoming clips in this video. You'll see where we were, you'll see the ride-alongs and everything. So here it is, just getting there. There was a competition orange GT350 sitting right there. I was excited to see that, of course. That's probably my favorite of all the GT350s. A lot of people starting to show up. This was on the Friday. People weren't really racing that day. There were a couple people testing that I'll show you, but we got there and we were able to check out the track. We were mostly just there to look around that day. We didn't unload the car. There were a couple people out there running around. There were some GT350Rs and a GT500 that we'll show you, but it was so cool to go up and start seeing a bunch of these 65, 66 GT350s, whether they were real or replicas. It's hard to tell, but to me that doesn't really matter. They look the part, they sound the part, they were just really awesome. And I know there were a handful of real ones there. You could just tell some of them were a little bit older, a little bit different looking than the pristine ones, but man, this was so cool. So just looking around these kind of cars was awesome. This is one of my favorite color combinations of the old ones, and it's just so iconic and historic to see this car. I had to go over and check out this competition orange striped elite car. This looked really neat. It was the non-technology package car, so I assume it has the oil and trans coolers on it. I almost bought a competition orange one like this, only it had the black stripes on it, but it was a technology package with no coolers, so I turned it down. It was only a 7,000 mile car, but I've always liked these. I thought they were really good looking cars. I noticed he had extended axle lug nut studs, and other than that it sounded pretty stock. I don't think it had the resonator delete. It was racing a lot on the track, and you'll see footage of Kurt battling it out with this car. So this is one of my favorite GT350s, and I did go up and I talked to the guy who was getting in it, and he said, oh well, thanks, you know, I complimented the car, and he's like, oh well, thanks, it's my dad's car. So he didn't seem like he really cared to talk or anything very much, but anyway, cool to see the car, and cool to see it out on the track. I just love the competition orange on the GT350. But if you look in there, you can see it has the small screen, so that means it's either a base model or a track pack car for that year. And over here, it was really neat to see a Daytona coupe sitting over on a trailer coming in. I hadn't really seen too many of these. I've seen them at the Shelby Museum, but nothing real up close and personal. So really cool to see it. I'm sure this is a kit car, but I like the kit cars as well because they are just as good to play around with. Was a 350R on the track. So here is a Boss 302S, and depending on the years, they made about 50 of these every year. Pretty neat looking car, factory race car. So pretty cool to see that somebody had one of these. There were a couple of them, and you'll see the other ones here. You'll see more footage of this next car, which is a FP 350. So it's Ford Performance 350, not a GT350. So those came with a 5.2, but it was the cross-plane crank instead of the flat plane. So that's pretty cool to see one of those there. It's basically a factory-built race car. And there you can see FP 350S is what it is. And there were some more cars like this 350R, and this car we pitted next to him throughout the day. It was pretty cool. I'll get to that in a minute. Here's a new GT500, and he was out doing some laps in that. It sounded really good, and you'll see Danny Johnson did a feature on that car on his channel. And here are a couple of Boss 302s, and there's the competition orange Boss 302S. And that car, I believe that car was on Bring a Trailer back in 2019, and the bid got up to $47,000. I'm sure it would sell for more now. So pretty cool to see that car. And I just really liked seeing these GT350s. This one looks like the paint's a little bit old on it, and I don't know if that's a replica or not. And a lot of these you won't really know unless you ask them. But starting to see some really cool 65, 66 fastbacks and coupes over there. But I just really love seeing these. This is so cool. This track is so iconic with Shelby and with these cars, and it's just really fun to see all this. So throughout this video you will see I got as much footage as I could up close of all these cars because they're going to be racing and you can't see it very well on my videos because it's so far away and there's wind noise and all sorts of things. But anyway, I wanted to get close video shot of each car. I tried to get every car that I could so that you can know what's racing out there.
Let's run away from these lines back to yesterday. Save tonight. I feel the sun creeping up like tick-tock. I'm trying to keep you in my head, but if not, we'll just keep running from tomorrow with our lips locked. Yeah, you got me begging, baby, please don't go. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? I don't know. If you feel the way I do, if you leave, I'm gonna find you. Baby, please don't go. Baby, please don't go. Baby, please don't go.
So as we were headed to the hotel to check in, I looked on my Instagram and Savage Mach 1 had messaged me and said, hey, if you guys are headed there to the track at Willow Springs, I'm here in Lancaster, California, and that's where the hotel was. So that was really awesome of him to reach out to us and let us know that he was in the area. I really like when people do that because I don't know where everybody lives. And so we were able to meet up, and this is his Black Mach 1. And just a little bit about the car. He's redone the engine in the car, and he's done a lot of work to it. So it's really cool to see that. So we all took a picture together there in the parking lot. He came to visit. He also had cool stories about his friend's Dark Shadow Gray Mach 1 that his mom had bought brand new. Just really awesome. Yeah. Yours looks good too.
She needs some more love.
Got the engine in it.
Yeah.
I was watching your video when you... So anyway, really cool. He has some YouTube videos about it, but it was just fun to see his car and see it up in person. It's really nice.
Because they were on Craigslist, and it was a legit deal, and they came out with a 99 for like $5.
And so you can hear we're having fun, having car talk, hanging out together. It was a great time.
High revving in a car with a mild cam, so it'll still kind of pass.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah, they're nuts. I lived in California before. My daughter was in South Dakota.
a little drive off and a drive by with Borla Tax. So it was really cool to stay at this hotel. A lot of people going to the track stay here, and so you walk out and see a 427 Cobra. You see a whole bunch of really neat cars here. There was a restaurant right next door, and my brother took us all out to dinner. That was very nice of him. Appreciate that. And there was a really cool green Bullitt Mustang here, and later at the track you'll see that there was a nice little lineup of Bullitt Mustangs, and so that was cool to see. And something really neat was this white GT350 that was at the hotel turned out to be Dom SVT's car that he was racing at the track, and he took my brother and me both for rides in the track. You'll see that coming up. So the next morning we walked out to the car, everything was nice and safe, and we were getting ready to leave, and I looked over and I could see some other cars in the parking lot, including a metallic gray, I believe, GT350, like the one my friend's has. I walked over and looked at this. The owner came out. He was very nice. The car has a centrifugal supercharger on it, so really neat and powerful car. He was out racing on the track, and he was letting his friend drive it around, who also has a GT500. And I think it's real cool that you see this GT350 at the gas station, and in this town you just see race cars everywhere. There's another GT500 parked on the side of the road who we actually pitted next to, so you'll see that car too. So a beautiful morning at the track. It wasn't windy yet, so it was a nice time to be out and just real fun. So we were getting our car ready to take off the trailer and get Kurt ready to race. There were a few Bullitt Mustangs parked in a row right next to us. That was really fun to look at. I really like the Bullitt Mustangs. If you know, I've had two of them, a blue one and a black one, both the 2001 model year. But nice to see some Bullitt Mustangs out there, and they sounded really good. One of the guys, after talking to him for a little bit, came back to me later and said, "I know who you are now. You're the guy from Utah that has the New Edge Mustang collection." So I was able to talk to them. I went to the Steve McQueen Bullitt Mustang show, and these guys were there too back a couple of years ago. Now this next fastback Mustang I really liked. It was red with white stripes. Beautiful car, and the reason I liked it so much is because I had this model car. It's a 1/18 scale, and I built it. It came in a kit where you build it yourself, and so I had that as a young kid growing up. So to see this car here, I still have that model car, as you can see in that picture, but seeing this one was really cool because it's a lot like that model. Signed by Shelby. It is a replica car, but he had it built down exactly like a real one would have been, and I think that's just as good. He said it's over 500 horsepower. Beautiful car. You'll see it running. There were a lot of awesome cars there, and this was one of the most beautiful ones as well. Blue with white stripes, absolutely gorgeous. Here's a Hertz one, signed by Shelby. Not sure if it was a real Hertz car or replica, and that, to me, I guess it doesn't matter that much because they look the part, like I've said before. Boss 302, you don't see a lot of these around, and it was cool to see one racing on the track because these were the race cars in the Trans Am series and stuff. So really cool white Boss 302 shaker hood car. It sounded good out there on the track. And like I said, all of these close-up videos I really wanted to take so you can see these cars up close, because you'll see them out on the track roaring around and making noise, and there's not a lot of detail in the racing videos. So you'll be able to see what you're looking at here. So beautiful cars.
Let's run away from these lines, back to yesterday. Save tonight. I feel the sun creeping up like tick-tock. I'm trying to keep you in my head, but if not, we'll just keep running from tomorrow with our lips locked. Yeah, you got me begging, begging, baby, please don't go.
Bullitt.
If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? I don't know. If you feel the way I do, if you leave, I won't find you, baby, please don't go, 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 go. Baby, please don't go, 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 go. Baby, please don't go, 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 go. Baby, please don't. Baby, please don't. Baby, please don't run away. Start another day. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? I don't know.
500 wheels on the Coyote.
Even won't find you, baby. Please don't go, 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 go. Baby, please
Like Patrick.
go, 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 go. Baby, please don't go, 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 go. Baby, please don't. Baby, please don't. Baby, I stay running from tomorrow. I stay running from tomorrow. I stay running I stay Baby, please don't go. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? I don't know. If you feel the way I do, if you leave, I'm gonna find you. I'm gonna find you. Go, go, go. Baby, please don't go, go, go. Don't leave me, please don't go, 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 go. Baby, please don't. Baby, please don't. Baby, please don't run away.
Same here. Why'd you end up running? Yeah, first time. Never before.
Let's run away from these lines. Back to yesterday. Save tonight. I feel the sun
Green was a kind of an interesting
tick-tock.
Dan Gurney racing. That's
If
cool.
not, we'll just keep running from tomorrow with our lips locked. Yeah, you got me begging, begging, baby, please don't go. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? I don't know. If you feel the way I do, if you leave, I'm gonna find you, baby, please don't go, 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 go.
This is a Heritage Edition GT350R. The Heritage Edition is Wimbledon white with a special blue striping, and this is just really cool to see one there. There were a bunch of other Heritage Editions there, and here you can see the difference. The one on the left is Oxford white, the one on the right is Wimbledon white, which is the same white that was on the original GT350, so there's a good comparison there.
Patrick, how you doing? Good, I'm good.
Here we go, here's another Wimbledon white Heritage Edition GT350. You can see the blue badge on it. I think that's one of the easier ways to tell besides the actual color and the color of the stripes. This roush was doing really well too. Stage 2 roush. Always so cool to see Daytona Coupe replicas. They look so good. Really cool cars. GT350s everywhere you turn. And I like these Bondurant Racing school cars.
Morning.
Is this a real Bondurant car?
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's neat. That's really neat.
Thanks. Let's see.
Well, she got her job. Good job. Correction officers. Yeah, they got her doing administrative stuff. But the stories that she's heard, guess who now has guns?
Man, the sound of those side pipes is so awesome. Big block 427 cars sound so good out there. And here's a nice 2018 and newer direct injection 10R80 automatic 5-liter Mustang. Really cool car. He was out there having fun too. And here we go with that moment of Kurt putting the next year sticker on his window, and this is really awesome for him to do, and it's cool to see another one on there. He's got quite a few years on there.
The question is, should I put it on crooked? I think that's it right there.
Alright.
Yeah, perfect. Boss 302 Laguna Seca, that was at the hotel we were staying at. And here's a new Edge Mustang, 01 or 02, laser red Mustang GT, automatic, parchment interior, diffuser on there, cool to see, bullet wheels, really nice car. I like these cars a lot. I don't know. Judging by the color of the bullet wheels, I think this is actually a laser red.
It would have been a 2000.
01 to 02.
Oh, wait, 01?
Yeah, 01 and 02.
Yeah.
Maybe you can buy one.
Hmm.
How far does that thing go under?
It goes just to the gas tank.
Busy? You Fox Body guys are gonna love this one. Trailer. Factory 5. Yeah. 427 that. This is a Drawley Mustang. Drawley was a guy who owned a whole bunch of these, and I believe he had a whole bunch of originals as well, and he was big time racer, had this place right by the track, and so this is a really fast car. Kurt was telling me about it. You'll see a few with this logo on them. Oh yeah, cool. And this is really cool. It's a Hertz edition one, the Rent a Racer one, and this guy here who takes care of them, works on them, he was really nice. I talked to him for a little while. You'll see him here ask me if I wanted to rent it, because I'm sure he gets that a lot.
It's a rental car. Do you want to rent it?
Hey, yeah, if it's a Hertz rental. So that green Hertz, and this one is also the Drawley performance cars that we were talking about a little bit earlier. Unfortunately, he had passed away a couple years ago, but these are cars from his collection.
Let's run away from these lines back to yesterday. Save tonight. I feel the sun creeping up like tick-tock. I'm trying to keep you in my head, but if not, we'll just keep running from tomorrow with our lips locked. Yeah, you got me begging, baby, please don't go. If I wake up tomorrow, will you still be here? I don't know. If you feel the way I do, if you leave, I'm gonna find you. Baby, please don't go. Baby, please don't go. Baby, please don't.
There's another Boss 302S, and this car might have been used in the movie Ford vs. Ferrari, from what everyone was saying.
Run away. Start another day. Stay. I feel the sun creeping up like tick-tock. I'm trying to keep you in my head, but if not, we'll just keep running from tomorrow.
5-liter 94 to 95 Mustang with the 96 and newer conversion on the taillights. Man, I love the interior on these cars. I love all those gauges up top there. It looks good with the Carroll Shelby signature. So, all right, so we're going to get into the racing here, and there's going to be a lot of it. So now that you've seen these cars up close and personal, and you have an idea of what they look like, keep an eye out on these racing passes and decide which one you like the most. Anyway, though, I did want to say real quick that everybody there was very friendly, very nice. Everybody was really cool to get along with. there's my chance to go for a ride with Kurt in the Terminator. Even though we couldn't go super fast, he did an amazing job. Awesome on the turns. this was a really cool guy named Ruban. We talked to him. He bought this '04 GT brand new in 2004, and he's out here racing it around. It has 210,000 miles on it. It had a replacement engine in it already, but awesome car, cool to see, 5-speed. He's out there having fun with it. Definitely not the fastest car on the track, but one of my favorites because I love these New Edge Mustangs, of course. cool to meet Dom SVT, and this is his grandpa's GT350, white with blue stripes, 2016 track pack car, and he took me for a ride in it, which was really awesome. I got to go do some laps on the course there with him, and he's an excellent driver. He did a great job, and I really enjoyed talking to him and his grandpa, and they were both very generous to let us go for rides in it.
Pretty good. These Recaros are pretty good too. Yeah, these are better. Yeah, they are. They are. Which tires are on here? The stock ones or they? Yeah, they're the Pilot. The Michelins? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're just the Ford with the stock. Cool. Yeah. They grip pretty good. Pretty much everything's stock, except it's got the resonator delete. Oh, cool. Yeah, that's what my friend's has too. It's just what the R comes with. So yeah, right? It sounds amazing.
Right here, well, it's a little bit quieter with the cars. I'll tell you a really quick cool thing. This is riding around with Dom SVT and his grandpa's GT350. His grandpa and I got along really well. We talked while Dom was out racing. We talked while my brother was riding with Dom. And it's just really cool, the whole story behind this. And Dom's grandpa had an original 66 black with gold stripes GT350. Carroll Shelby himself told him that he'd give him a deal on it. Shelby had told him that he needed to sell a certain number of them and he had to buy it through a dealership, and so his grandpa was able to buy it brand new for $3,000 back in '66. I think that's just such an awesome story. And now Dom's grandpa has this 2016 GT350. You saw I got to go for a ride with Dom SVT, and now my brother got to go for a ride with him. It was really cool for them to go out together, and he has a really good video of this on his YouTube channel. Well, Kurt's car was cooling down. We were looking it over, and our friend Terminated Since '03 came up and introduced himself. I'm glad he did because, like I said, a lot of people, I don't recognize them, I don't know them in person, and we've talked back and forth on Instagram, and he has this red fire Terminator, and he was there at the track before with it, but it was really cool to talk to him, and he introduced himself. We were able to finally meet in person, and it was real fun to get along and talk cars for a little bit, so I'm glad he stopped by. We took a picture together. Another thing I thought was cool is this movie Born to Race 2 had these Celicas that they used in the movie, and they were part of a racing school, and it was neat that this takes place at Willow Springs. And if you look here, there's part of the website shows the Celicas on there, and here's the number 21 Celica. Looked really cool there at the track. Well, as I looked over in the distance, I saw this car, number 21, sitting over here, all destroyed, sun-beaten and ruined, and who knows, probably lost an engine or something, but it was sitting over there by a silver one as well, and these cars were just sitting over there. Kind of sad to see them like this, but I'm sure there's a reason for that. But I did recognize these. I thought, hey, those are in the movie Born to Race 2, so cool to come see some movie cars, although I'm not sure if these exact cars were in the movie, but they were part of that racing school. And there was also a Firebird sitting over there, and it had that really terrible peeling of the fiberglass like my friend's Corvette did. And then beautiful Shelbys. I mean, everywhere you look, they're just so awesome, beautiful cars. And, you know, nice morning. This is the next day. Beautiful morning with Kurt, and this 2020 or 21 GT500 was there, and I talked to the guy for a minute, and he was nice, and it turns out he was a editor, or he worked for Edmunds. So from what I was told, they gave him the car to come out here and have some fun at the Shelby event, and this is just a beautiful car. This car right out of the box is an awesome race car, runs really good, supercharged. Same rotor pack that my Terminator Cobra has with my 265 liter supercharger, so that's kind of cool to see. And he was running this car really well. You'll probably see some video here of it running, and I like how the license plate bracket was on there. It wasn't drilled into the bumpers. But anyway, awesome car, ran really good, and he did a good job getting it out of that car. All the racing is done. Time to put the car in the trailer and head home. Got some brake dust. Feels alright. This 97 V6 Mustang parked next to us. It was in really good shape. It had 221,000 miles on it. It's 98, 5-speed. My little sister had one just like it, only an automatic, same year, and my first one was a 97 V6. So I can appreciate those. So here at the track, there's a little restaurant to eat at, and Kurt was nice enough to buy us lunch there. I had the Willow burger, which I thought was pretty traditional. And I went ahead and went into the gift shop and bought a t-shirt. I usually don't buy t-shirts and stuff, but I thought this was a good souvenir. So I thought that was pretty cool. Thought I'd support the track and get a t-shirt. So we were excited to get the car on the trailer and get going. It's really nice when you go to the track and you don't have any issues and you can drive home. That's just something that everything worked out great on this trip. The car, you know, the weather, everything was great, and the people were awesome. It was fun to meet all those people, and everybody was very friendly. As we left the track, I saw this was the shop that Drawley car was in, so I think that's where it was. But we had a trip home now, and back into the Denali for a nice tow home, and it went pretty smoothly. There was a little bit of traffic. If you've seen my other videos, on the way home from California, it seems like there is always traffic backed up. Now, my little sister, who has that Redfire GT, was just up the road from us here on the way home. You can see the solar farm there near Baker, and she had told us that the traffic was starting to back up. And so we were stopped, and it started to get crazy. People were starting to drive on the shoulder and pass you here. And there was one car who was blocking everybody from doing that, so I was just laughing. I couldn't believe it. There's people all over the place being nuts, and one car started to block the shoulder to keep people from doing that, and it made it so a bunch of people would go around them and start going off into the dirt.
Good enough for him. Come on, another jerk. Hopefully there's some... another jerk. Call him Chevy jerk.
Oh, gapped. Not cool. Not cool. Not cool. Oh, man. Oh. Whoa, it's turning into an off-road rally.
So it was a few hours of slow traffic like that, which was kind of annoying. But you can see the train out there in the distance, and now we were starting to get closer to Prim. And right after Prim, the freeway was going. And as we got closer, we noticed there was a semi-truck trailer that had burned down. So here's the damage of all that.
Someone shipped a lithium battery, right? That's cargo. That's all kinds of... To go. Hold it on the floor.
And now you can see that the other lanes are backed up, and it wasn't because of the accident, it's because people were looking at the accident. So that was causing all of this traffic to back up. It was really stupid for that to happen. But anyway, we finally got going, got closer back to Vegas. There's Speed Vegas again, little racetrack on the south side of Vegas. And now we're finally back into Las Vegas. It's always nice to get to this part. For us, it's not too far home from here. There's Shelby American, so cool to go past there after all we saw this weekend. And stop to get some gas, and that's in Las Vegas near the Speedway.
I did show them earlier. I showed the front one at the time.
So I got to ride in the Cobra back up to our hometown. So it was another 45 minutes home or so, and it was a really nice drive, and it started to get dark as we traveled, but it was really awesome. So I got home and I applied my new Willow Springs International Raceway sticker on my toolbox. Thought that would be a nice place to put it. It was really fun to go, and we had an awesome trip. I want to thank everybody who was there, everybody I met, all the friendships and all the cool people, and it was nice that Kurt invited us to come along on this trip because he brought us into a opportunity that we have never had before of going to an event like this. So thanks for everybody. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.